Thank you for tuning into Cytology 101. I'm your host, Sydney Robinson. We'll get into the challenges of the dental industry, empower leaders to inspire their teams, and foster collaboration between office team members and practice owners. Together, we'll find creative solutions to get shit done. Hey y'all, we are back at it again for part 3 of Chaos Coordinators. If you have not checked out part 1 and part 2, just stop what you're doing, head on over, check out part 1, part 2, come on back, and let's finish up this conversation of what it means to lead your team versus manage your team. What it means to empower your team members so that you have more efficient workflows and just a real healthy work environment. So I hope you all enjoy this final part of Chaos Coordinators. How do we find the ideal tribe? And I don't like to say team, I like to say tribe. Because these are people. We want to make connections. We spend, I think it's a third of our time working. That means that the people that you work with, you need to like them. How do we find our tribe? Well, first, you need to know your mission. Because if you don't know your mission, how are you supposed to find your tribe? When you hire someone, that should be the first thing that you let them know. This is our mission. It helps the office focus on what is important, taking good care of patients and making sure everything runs smoothly. It's like a daily plan that reminds the team how to work together and what goals they should work towards. Can you guys go in your office right now and ask every single team member, what is your mission? Would they be able to tell you exactly, or would they at least summarize it? I know for me, I have 4 missions between 4 different companies, so I just summarize it. That's okay, I know it. I'm gonna work towards it. Can you guys do that? That's awesome, because now you know that the people, your tribe, you guys all are on the same mission. Vision statement. A vision statement, it outlines the long-term anticipations of the dental office. It's a source of inspiration and a beacon for where the organization is headed in the future. It's like a dream for the future of the dental office. It shows what the office wants to become, like being the best dental office in the area, known for great care and happy patients. It's meant to inspire everyone to work hard and aim high, thinking about the big picture of what they can achieve together. How are you going to get there? You have your mission, but how are you going to get there? What does that look like? A lot of you said in my group, especially as a leader, you have no idea what your doctor's expectations are. Then that means that if you have an office vision, then you should know exactly what your doctor's vision is for the practice, and you should know how you're going to get there. So if you have a vision statement right now, and you're not living up to it because you have no idea what your doctor's expectations are, where they see the practice going, how are you supposed to do your job? How are you supposed to empower, inspire, and encourage your team members if you don't even know the vision? Did the vision change last week? Did all of a sudden he wants to own 2 practices? Did all of a sudden she wanted to add ortho and pedo into her practice? That wasn't the vision. We didn't talk about that. Where did this come from? They woke up with a dream, and all of a sudden, you're like, oh, wait. Right, you had an epiphany. He said, I can do better. But seriously, right? Like, if that changed, and you don't know that changed, then how are you supposed to support your practice owners? What are you waking up every single day going to work for? Why are you doing this? Core values. Core values are like the main rules that everyone in the dental office agrees to follow. They tell us how to act at work and help us make decisions that are good for our patients and our team. And I put some examples: self-awareness, personal integrity, grit, open and honest communication. Do you say your core values when you're hiring? Do you ask them in return, do you have core values? I wouldn't even say mine first. I would ask them first, because then what happens is they're going to say exactly what you just said. Dang it, I messed up. How do you find your tribe? How do you know that your current tribe are the right people and it's not going to be a mutiny on your hands? This is how. Defined mission, vision, core values. If you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, guess what your team member sees as your executive presence? If you have so many hats and you're not leading your team because you don't know what your core values, mission, vision, Monday, that's part of your conversation with the doctor. That's important. We need to know what people stand for. We need to know who the people are that we work with a third of our lives. We need to know those people. The next part of how do you find your tribe is clear job descriptions. Clear job descriptions enhance hiring. It attracts the right candidates who fit the job requirements, making the hiring process more effective. It tells team members exactly what their responsibilities are, helping prevent misunderstandings. Builds confidence and increase job knowledge. It allows team members to take calculated risks, limiting consistent reminders and improving operational workflow. Operation manual. If you haven't seen this though, it has every single thing you need in there. Job descriptions, system and operations, workflows. Don't reinvent the wheel. You don't have time for that, right? You got all the hats. Sometimes you're short-staffed. Sometimes you have Sarah with an H, who no matter how many times you told her how to verify insurance or do automations in open dental, or all you had to do was pull up the Flex Huddle report. Why are you spending 6 or 7 hours? What are you doing? It's in the operation manual. So if you don't have this, all of your doctors are DSN members. Y'all have access to this. There's a downloadable folder that you can download these documents and you can then go in and just make it your own. All you have to do is just go in and just make some tweaks to it. Don't waste time trying to create one. Just come here and download it. Okay. Leadership skills to make this happen. So as we start to talk about our tribe, operations, workflows, and hiring, the first thing is mastering the art of servant leadership and what it means to have a leadership presence in your practice. What does it mean to have an executive presence? When you hire someone, and I'm going to take it back all the way, you have your core values, you've gone over your core values. What are the questions you're asking? Do you ask them, what do you like to do on a weekend? Do you ask them when they respond to that, how did you get into this? Oh, I love reading books. What kind of books do you like reading? In that book with Caroline Webb, she said that we tend to gravitate towards people that are like us. When we're hiring for our tribe, that's what you should be looking for. Someone that fits the vibe. Someone that's going to get up and have fun in your morning huddle. That person who's super vibrant, and not everybody has to have that same personality, but they have to fit in some kind of way. The only way you're going to ask that is not asking, so tell me about your job experience. So tell me about your last practice. Who cares about that last practice? I don't care. Who are you? And do you fit? Right? Can I get along with you? Can I communicate with you? Are you coachable? Are you trainable? Or are you going to come in here thinking you're hot shit? And you know everything. But guess what? You can get out. You can do better. There we go. You can do better somewhere else, not in my practice. Because we want good quality people. Because a lot of people, one, doesn't like working in a dental practice. They're jumping from office to office. They're not jumping from office to office because of pay. They're jumping from office to office because they hate being there. Hire people that fit your vibe. Stop asking questions like, what's your strengths and weaknesses? I know one, that stupid question. And I know we ask it, right? I used to ask it. I stopped asking that. What do you dislike is what I like to ask now. Tell me something you don't like. Tell me something you don't like about working in a dental practice. That one gets them every single time. Every time. Because I was like, is this a trick? Yeah, it's a trick. I want to see what that answer is. But I also want to know what you love about your job. Because what if someone says, I really love the fact that I can grow? Well, I know my doctor's vision. I know that my doctor wants to add endo, pedo, ortho. I want to expand to 3, 4 practices. That person fits the vibe. They're going to be hungry enough to want to see the change. Do you like puzzles, murder mysteries? That's someone who's going to problem solve. That's someone who's going to think outside the box to try to figure it out. Maybe you don't need that person. Maybe you don't need someone that think outside the box. Maybe because you're hiring for your weaknesses, we got a problem solver on our team. We have someone that's super vibrant. What we don't have is someone that's super organized. So maybe ask questions towards that. How do you feel about chaos? When you hear the word chaos, what does that mean? That means that someone who's like, well, I thrive in chaos. Nope, that's not what I don't want that. I hate chaos. Well, guess what they're not going to tolerate? I have a lot of people answer, oh, I thrive in chaos. I just look away. That's the wrong answer, but thank you. I don't need chaos in our practice, right? We want order. We want someone that's like, actually, I don't like chaos. I like to be structured. I like to be organized. I like a healthy communication. Check, check, and check. So I feel like it starts with hiring and getting people in. Right now, I know a lot of y'all have some Sarahs with an H. And it's okay. You don't have to tell me. I can see your faces. We sometimes have a Sarah with an H. How do we fix that? How do we recalibrate Sarah so that she's not asking us for mustard? The next part of that is intentional goal setting. What's your aim? How do we fix this with our current team members? What we want to get out of it? What do we want to correct about this team member? Can they never fix the x-ray machine? You got to check your attitude. If you have Sarah with an H and you know she's going to complain, go ahead and identify those things. I vibed. I saw it right in your face. Go ahead and check your attitude. Because what's going to happen is you're going to go into that conversation as you're trying to correct Sarah and make sure that she's a part of the tribe. I know she always gets defensive. Well, how can I get her not defensive? I can ask questions. Sarah, when you tried to take that x-ray on the patient, can you tell me what happened? Well, it gave me an error code. Oh, okay, great. Did you have a chance to Google what that area code or error code was? No, I haven't. Ask questions, make connections, be relatable. What do you think your team members are going to feel when you're doing that? Valued, cared about. Start treating people like people. Everybody in this room said it themselves. I feel like I'm working hard. I'm doing all these things. I don't feel sometimes appreciated. What do you think your team members feel? Because you're already frustrated at the fact that some of you don't even know what your job is. Why are you even there? How do you think that your executive presence look like with your team members? So build rapport. Go back next week and ask your team how they're doing. If you don't do team retreats, company retreats, you can't just keep buying them pizza. TikTok is really calling us out, y'all. We can't just keep buying people pizza thinking it's going to be all good. No. Damn TikTok. It's like if I see another TikTok about, oh, they think they can pay us in pizza. Well, did it work? Right? You eat that pizza, don't you? Right? But let's take a step back though. What if we knew that most of our team members was trying to get fit for something that they wanted to do? Maybe it was running a marathon. Maybe one of our team members wanted to just lose 20 pounds to be healthier or whatnot, or fit into a wedding dress. What if we knew someone is gluten-free? What if I'm a health nut as well? Now we got a whole bunch of people that wants to be healthy. So instead of buying them pizza, what if you say, hey, this month for the next 30 days, we got you a gym membership. We can leave an hour early because we met our goal and we've been doing great. Let's all go do a yoga class. They have yoga, they have bar, they have hot yoga, cycling. What if you could do something like that instead of buying them pizza? What if I don't value money? Yeah, we got to pay our bills, but Ashley could tell you that wasn't my motivation. My motivation wasn't money. Yes, I want to be financially stable. And I think for a long time, I never said anything about my pay until one day. Because I realized, I was like, wait, you're more valuable than that. What drove me was having a place where I felt valued. That's why I stayed with Dr. Mark Costas so long. That's why I still stay with Dr. Mark Costas so long. And that is why I want to help each and every one of you, because of what I believe in, what he's doing for your practice owners. I feel valued. Think about your team members. Money may not motivate them. So giving them $200 bonuses here and there, giving them raises, that's expected, right? Some of them don't even appreciate it. But what if you were able to say to a single mom who we don't really have health benefits or because a lot of practices don't offer medical or dental insurance because you work for a dental company. What if you were able to say to that single mom with 3 children, you know, I understand that we don't have medical, but for all of our parents, we do give you a $300 stipend. We have a daycare that's nearby. It's great. They do I think where that one office was, it was a Primrose, which is a really good school for kiddos. What if you could do something like that? Mark, one time, I remember walking to the practice, there was a whole bunch of babies. I was like, oh, I get to hold babies. Remember, they had the little room and the girls would bring their babies and Darla would watch them in the little playpen. That shows value. It wasn't about the money. It was about, we had these moms who all had babies around the same times because something was in the water. And they were worried about how they were going to get to work. They were worried about who was going to watch their children. They were sick. We even had little sick babies in there. Darla was wiping noses, changing diapers. We love Darla. Darla was Dr. Mark Costas' regional manager, and she was awesome. But that was something that she did for her team members, and I adopted that. So build rapport, ask questions. You having problems with hiring? Think about those things. If you're having problems with bringing someone that fits your tribe, think about those. I was telling someone about your job ad. Look at your job ads. What type of people are you attracting with your job ads? Is it cookie cutter? Oh my God, we need someone that's happy, someone that's gonna have energy. This is all your job description, and this is your pay. I'm gonna look through it. Do I find, nope, this isn't something that I wanna do. Or you're gonna find those people because they didn't see a lot listed on their job description. Oh, I can do bare minimum in this practice. This is all my job. This is all I do. They get into the practice, and what words do you hear? That's not in my job description. Well, guess what? It is today. That's what I expect of you. Find out who they are. Get people, find out what they value. Find out what goals they have personally so that you can make sure that each and every one of your team members feel valued. And a lot of these suggestions that I'm giving you guys, I've seen around the network. Dr. Summer Casmel is one of the best people I've ever met, and she's one of my mentors. I think she said something, she does meal preps or something, or did meal preps for her team members. You know, something. We've been busting butt. We've been staying till 7 o'clock at night. You know what? Hey, I'm gonna get you some DoorDash. Don't worry about dinner. I know that we ran late this week. I know we've been short-staffed. It's only been you in the back. Go to the spa. Do something for your team members. Talk to your doctors about how can you make your team members feel valued versus thank you so much for working till 7 o'clock at night. Thank you so much for working through lunch. Thank you so much for not spending time with your family. Answering my text message at 10 o'clock or 4 a.m. because your doctor gets up and start working out at 4 a.m. because he followed Mark Costas, taking cold showers. Which we love that, by the way, but I tried it. Okay. Recognition and rewards. I think that runs hand in hand with what I was just saying. Celebrate your team members who take the initiative. Find out if you don't know what they like, how are you supposed to celebrate them? I personally don't like people telling me that I did a good job. That's not my love language. My love language is acts of service. Do you guys know your team member's love language? Has anyone ever taken a love language assessment? Here? Has your team members taken it? Yeah? Yes. Go back and find out your team's love language. Because what if you're giving someone's praises and they're like me and they get awkward? I don't like that. Don't give me praises, because I get shy a little bit. Mine is acts of service. Do better. Do what you said you're going to do. Someone else's could be quality time. I know for Jalen, again, I love that girl to death. I didn't know that her love language was quality time, or I didn't pay attention to it. So when she wanted to tell me a long story about how she got somewhere, how she did something, I'm like, please tell me what you need to tell me. And I realized how it was coming off. And now I'm very open, and she's like, okay, here's what I go, okay. I'm really busy right now, and I know you want to tell me something. Can you tell me the dessert first and then tell me everything else in between? What I didn't know is she just wanted to spend time with me. She just wanted to tell me, and she gets elaborate with the stories. I was on the phone with public storage. They didn't have this. The person transferred me. I had to get a new code. I'm like, but did you pay the bill or no? That's the only thing that's going on in my mind. But what I found was Jalen needed that quality time. So, which I really try to make this a point on Thursdays, her and I work together. Just me and her. One-on-one, where I can give her that quality time. Or I go and take her out to lunch. My team out to lunch, because a lot of them, I think, are quality time, if I remember. A lot of them are active service quality time. One guy is personal touch. He only gets high fives. I was like, that's an HR problem. I don't want those kind of problems. Right? So what happens if you're giving someone praises?
Okay, I was just talking about this yesterday with Florentina, because in our morning huddles, you talk about going over positive reviews to be upbeat, but I'm like you and there's another assistant who we get shy if we hear good things about us, right? It's uncomfortable. Right. But I was saying that's a me problem, because I have to get over that, because I feel like that's positivity, and we should be, we should try to work on that ourselves.
Right.
So I don't know. So now I'm
with giving recognition to someone who loves language and they get shy about it?
Well, if you're saying we want to recognize somebody else's love language and they're not okay with getting praises, like myself, do we still want to do that in a morning huddle?
That's a good point. Every once in a while, I do think that it's necessary for team members to hear that Julia or Jalen went out of their way to do something for someone else. I do believe that your team members have to hear that. Although it makes them uncomfortable, for me, it makes me uncomfortable. It's not like they stop doing it. I'm not telling you not to do it. What I'm telling you is that's not how they take praises. So you have to make sure that, yes, you want to give that recognition. It makes them uncomfortable. So it's not technically a praise for them. It's a praise for you that you did it, right? So if their love language is acts of service, what you have to do is do what you said you're going to do. If you told them that, hey, we're working on hiring someone, but we haven't hired anyone yet, are you communicating to them that, hey, this is where we're at in the hiring process? Or is it all just leadership and no one knows, but this person's been the only dental assistant in the back, and all he or she keeps hearing is we're trying to hire someone, or we're going to hire someone, and it never has gotten done, and you just keep telling her she's doing a good job? That's when you're going to run into a problem, because they're not seeing that. So instead, hey, we're in the process of hiring. We had 4 applicants come in. I called those 4 applicants. Unfortunately, no one's called me back yet. So we're just going to continue our search. If anybody knows anyone, that's how you communicate, and you can keep going with it. But at least that person know that you're doing what you said you were going to do. Vice versa. If you said that, hey, we're going to implement bonuses, it's a year later, we haven't implemented bonuses. Those people who love language as acts of service, you said in their mind, their deliberate system is, This was deemed necessary. You said you were going to do it. Automatic system is now going to try to protect them. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. So I'm not saying don't give them recognition, don't give them praises. What I'm saying is you have to know who love language likes that, and that's going to fill their bucket, and the people who don't. Because you can do that all day, but if you're not doing a true thing that gives them joy, they're not going to care that you did that. So this is something that I actually like to do. That's a good point. In morning huddle, I actually don't like to be the only one giving praises. This is something that should be a collective effort. It's not just you. Hey, Sydney did great. Then someone else. Actually, I want to drop a love bomb to Julia, because that actually is uncomfortable. That's like you just going in and picking out people versus allowing their team members to collaborate and recognize that someone did something awesome in the practice. So I would want to pivot a bit and not have you do that. I like to have where your entire team goes around and say something or do a love bomb.
That makes sense, because of that, I just kind of do it like one-on-one. You know, I do it like I always encourage them on the side or whatever and text them or whatever. So.
What you can reword it and say, what went well yesterday?
In the morning huddle?
Yeah. So I would reword it. I would say, okay, let's take 2 minutes. Let's go around a room. What went well yesterday? That way it's not like, again, pulling someone out individually. It's your team members thinking about their day yesterday. Well, this is what went well. Julia helped me with my patient. Or she's like, yeah, that patient was difficult. Now that person doesn't feel shy because now they're on one united front and they was like, yeah, that was a doozy. Or, I'm happy to do it because we were running behind. Now it's not that uncomfortable feeling. And they're like, oh my God, she's just calling me out again. Well, don't think about it in a sense of them pointing someone else out. What they're doing is they're pointing out the situation that went well. So it doesn't have to be a person. Yeah. Because usually what went well, it's not like the software went well. It's the software, right? They're going to tell you like what went good in their day. A patient actually didn't react the way that they thought they were going to. Doctor actually helped me calm a patient down or something like that. They're going to give you situations that actually happened to them that involved other team members or the patient. They're complimenting a situation and not the individual. Something else that we did in Mark practice too is we wrote it down on sticky notes and we had a love bomb jar. And in our weekly meetings, we would go in and we would pull it out and we would just read it. So again, it wasn't like me going in and say, Julia, Jalen, Daniel, and I just go in and read it. It was everyone going around the room and they were just pulling out. So you never knew who you were going to get anyway. So that was another good suggestion for that. This gal had a question too.
We do attitudes of gratitudes.
Oh, I like that. Attitudes of gratitude.
Yes. So at the end of the day on Open Dental, you can put a block in, just like an appointment.
Yeah.
And you can say whatever to anyone. So like, let's say someone helped you clean a chair. So you do kudos to whomever because whatever. And everyone can see it. So it's not like you can put your name if you want to, but it's just an attitude of gratitude. So every morning at our huddle, we just read out attitudes of gratitude.
That's a good one. She's like, I'm full of them. I'm here 9 to 5.
Same with your Sydney with the box. Ours is, we just call it like the act of kindness. But we have the little sheets and then the employee will write out their like act of kindness they saw. And then at the end of the month, we'll go through them and like pull them out and say what the employee saw, who it was about. And then we combine it. So then we'll like draw a name and whoever wrote it and who it was about would get a gift card.
Oh, I love that. That's a good one too. Incentivizing it and gamifying it a little bit. We like games in our organization. We did a scavenger hunt. I'm gonna tell you right now, the whole point of it was for us to team build. It was not team building at all. I tried to block someone in with my car. Right. It was team divided. We were supposed to, I'm gonna go off topic. We were supposed to do this scavenger hunt. Everyone came into Omaha and the whole thing was, we should show them around Omaha, learn the history, right? And so it got real bad. And we were driving around. It was so bad that I did 80 and a 35 reverse on a one-way street. Yes. One of the guys had motion sickness And he's like, I'm going to throw up. He wanted to get out of the car. Jalen ran red lights. I tried to block a team member into the parking garage, yelling out the window, let's go. And pulling up, it ended with 4 cars trying to pull into the hotel valet all at the same time. It was so bad. The valet driver was like, but the whole thing was whoever got there first, got all the answers, they win. I was like, we didn't even know what the prize was, right, Ashley? We didn't even have a prize. Yeah, the point was winning. Anywho, but that was fun for us. That's our culture. We're gonna do, I keep saying Hunger Games style, but Ashley's like, we can't say that. June, our team building, we're all gonna go to Denver, and Ashley has like this whole like land that we can go to, and we're gonna have field games where we all just have fun. So yeah. Building rapport. It's great. All right, feedback loop. Giving team members the opportunity to share ideas and insights on processes and improvements, create action items, set due dates and deadlines. So that's the feedback loop. Feedback, you also have to go in and make sure that you close it. If you set an action, hey, Sydney, I would love to see improvement with phone skills in the next 30 days. We're going to meet once a week, and we're just going to talk about it. We're going to talk about your wins and challenges that you have over the phone, and I'm going to help work through that. Then we're going to circle back in 30 days, and we're going to see how well it's going. Once you've mastered that, then we can go on to the next thing that I would love for you to master. So giving them your expectations, setting deadlines, giving them all the details that they need so that they can execute whatever it is that you need them to execute, and then circling back and following up on it. Super important.
This has been another episode of Setology 101. Today's episode was sponsored by FOA Coaching. If you would like to find out more about team training or personalized coaching, visit foacoaching.com. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Setology 101.